Alright, day 43 of my mountains to sea adventure. We'll be fogging over a little bit there. Let's see here. Alright, so coming up on the graveyard of the Atlantic Museum, and as much as I would love to go and peruse that, I think I'm going to save that for a comeback trip with the family. Abigail said today, there's plenty of blaze here. Abigail said today that she wanted to go see all of the lighthouses, so that might become a multi-day trip for next summer or something. So yeah, good times. I'm going to try and get up to the Hatteras Lighthouse today. We've got across the ferry parked in from Ocracoke to Hatteras, parked in the I got the camper set up there at the Hatteras Outer Banks KOA. And we are going to enjoy our continued stay on the Outer Banks. So far, wayfinding here has been pretty easy. I don't recall there was some actual blaze on Ocracoke. This has been easy. Alright, this beach has a feel somewhere between Ocracoke and Topsail. I think I caught it all but at high tide, or probably at high tide currently. So I haven't got a whole lot to walk on up here. There's people out here, but it's not jam-packed like Topsail was. Quite the elaborate sandcastle here, and I am thinking that it may be about to be washed away. Beach hiking has not been very easy going along here. Definitely avoiding high tide would be preferable. I'm somewhere around one of the quarter moons. Not sure if it's 3/4 or third quarter or first quarter, but that does at least make the difference between high and low tide not as significant. But if it was a really high tide like you get around full or new moon, there wouldn't be a whole lot of beach here like the trail guide says, so this would be really hard going. I almost thought about just taking my shoes off and walking barefoot. Not sure what the long-term effects of that would be, but this has been hard going. The sand up at the top of the beach is soft, and the way this beach is shaped is not consistent, so having to go in and out a lot to stay out of the waves. Alright, the shape of the beach has gotten a little more conducive to walking here. Sand hardened up a little bit. I don't know that I can really compare this to Ocracoke, because I hiked Ocracoke at low tide. The sand has seemed softer, but I've also been at the high tide line as opposed to the low tide line, so I'm going to go with the sand down there. It's probably packed a little better than the stuff up here. This part of the beach is, there's nobody here. Looks like there's ORV access, off-road vehicle way up there. I see a bunch of shininess. I think that's the Cape Point, which is one of the most popular spots to go off-roading and fishing. So I'll probably have to dodge a bunch of fishing poles up there. I've started to pick up the faintest view of the lighthouse up there, which is cool. Alright, I checked the tide chart. There we go. Checked the tide chart, and high tide supposedly passed 20 minutes ago. I'm still here on this largely deserted section of beach. Shorebirds don't seem to mind. And I think I've got maybe 4 more miles to go on the beach, and I'll turn inland at the Frisco campground and more or less hike to the woods, or hike through the woods, and come out at the Hatteras Lighthouse. Unfortunately, I have my bug spray with me, because once I go off the beach, things will start biting me, and the bug spray will make that better. And by the way, soft sand, hard sand, well, don't you want to walk in the soft sand? I guess for the impact it would be better, but for speed and energy consumption, it's a lot easier to walk on hard sand. And after walking the slope at Ocracoke and Topsail, and then walking up here kind of on the shelf, I would much rather walk the slope and just deal with the fact that your legs hurt a little bit unevenly at the end of the day. It's a lot easier walking. Coming up, a lot of people swimming up here. Okay, another random thought for the day as I come up on Frisco. So, Friends of the Mountains to Sea Trail apparently will let you receive the completion award if you bike NC12 of the Outer Banks rather than, which I guess with the exception of the hike that's coming up here into Hatteras. There is a hiking trail there. I guess after being on Ocracoke, I see why they might, give you that option. And anyways, but yeah, I just don't think that someone that bikes NC12 is going to get anywhere close to the same experience as someone that walks the beach. And y'all know I biked a lot of this trail. We seem to have misplaced the video for quite a bit of that. I think it was like segments 8 through 10 or something like that. Hopefully we'll find them and be able to get them out, but I'm glad I chose to walk the beach. I thought about biking it, but I think the experience is cool. A lot of things where, I'm like, okay, trails on the road, not doing that. It would have been a lot easier. I mean, I could have biked the whole Outer Banks in a day or two. But I think this is going to be a more enjoyable experience, honestly. All right, coming up on lots of people. All right, so there's a pretty good line of storms out there in the ocean. About over there, put down a waterspout earlier. Saw people pointing out there, like, what is it, a shark? Dolphins, like we saw on Ocracoke? No. No, it was a waterspout. Small one. I'm glad I was here and it was over there, though. Alright, the storms seem to be moving in a little closer. I'm going to be turning away from the beach here in a little bit. Looks like I am going to go through the off-road vehicles just a little bit, which will be a new challenge. Haven't had to deal with those a whole lot. Ocracoke permitted them, but there were so few people out there. I mean, I hiked like 12 miles of beach and saw maybe 20 people, so total maybe 30 at an absolute maximum. A few of them were in ORVs, and most of them are just on foot. But yeah, so there's a lot of folks out here accessing the beach this way. Kites flying. Alright, some of the waves have been getting pushed in a little bit further. I think it's a storm that's about to roll in here. Looks like I'm probably going to get pretty wet, so this may be the end of the video recording for a while. I'll put on the poncho and try and stay non-soaked. That's about all you can do. So, yeah. I knew this was a chance, and I took it. So, there you go. Alright, the people of the beach know what rain looks like. And there is currently a mass exodus in progress. Hope I don't get ran over on the ORV ramp. Those are not the easiest on and off the beach for a pedestrian. And I haven't had to do one with traffic yet, so yeah, whatever. I got it again. I missed the fact that there's pedestrian boardwalk to come across. Wow, you get to climb across the very top of a dune. How about that? Didn't save me any distance, and I actually walked on more natural surface because it wasn't on the boardwalk, and a whole lot of sand over there. I don't know, same difference. Anyways, heading into the Frisco campground here. Rain to my back, and yeah, this is cool. Anyways, yeah, I think my issue was I just wanted to get away from that, so I short-shotted the GPS, or because of using the GPS, and I've got my trail guide packed away in the pack to keep it dry in case I need to use it. Oh, the irony. This boardwalk is not reassuring. It's kind of creaky and cracky. Alright, I like the way this campground is set up better than Ocracoke. Ocracoke is just a sandy parking lot, basically. There's actually stuff going on here. Feel the raindrops coming. Probably be wise to start thinking about getting out the poncho. But I would consider coming to camp here if I had a generator. I'm getting to the point in my life where if I'm going to be somewhere hot, I like to have air conditioning. And it looks like there's a lot of people that don't camp here. So there you go. It's hard camping. It's hard camping without AC. Done it before. Alright, I just passed basically around the Frisco campground, and another providential occurring as far as I'm concerned. I actually made a wrong turn. Tried to hike out to the NC-12 and turned around, came back, I had to use the restroom, so I stopped there, got there right as the rain came. And then, by the time I stood on the front porch and ate my snack, I don't know that I could read that. The rain had stopped. So, I don't know, I might get some more. I don't know if that'll keep moving away or what, but it's nice to get a little break from it. And it's like I'm going to hike over to pick up a trail to the Hatteras Lighthouse here. So I saw it way off in the distance, and then I'm going to walk up close to it today. Hopefully while it's still light. Well, this will probably be the last time I see the woods on this adventure. I don't know how far this is going to continue, but I left the road, picked up the trail, and this is Equestrian Trail. It's pretty loose, but fortunately the rain has hardened it up a little bit. Maybe I'll turn off up here. I'm going to take a hard right in just a minute. Alright, yeah, the horses veered off. I'm not sure if this is all foot traffic or what, but this is hard enough with it being a little bit wet. It would actually be better if we'd gotten even more rain, I think. But if I'd hit this when it was super hot and sunny and the sand was completely loose, this would have really been a slog along here. So I guess if you're hiking it, the word of wisdom would be plan extra time for this and maybe try to do it at a cool time of day. And plan for the biting flies if you're doing it in the summer, because they are quite active. Alright, if I can stand the biting flies for long enough. Had a pretty cool experience just then. I wish I could have got it on camera. But I saw what looked like dog tracks. I know those, can also be coyote. And they look really super similar. Noticed it didn't have any human tracks to go with it. And then I realized, hey, that was a fresh track and it just rained. And I looked up to the left. I'm pretty sure it was a coyote. Its tail was not bushy. It was almost colored like a fox, but I'm pretty sure that was coyote. It wasn't very big. It was just wandering off. I don't know if it was as distracted by the biting flies as I am, but it didn't seem to either notice me or care that I was there. So, there you go. This is probably the worst place I've ever been for biting flies. Lifetime award. Maybe it's at Portsmouth Island. It's hard to compare. They were pretty fierce there too. Goodness gracious. Alright, time to swat more flies. Alright, so you got some wetland. I don't know whether I call that swamp or pond. I guess pond, sort of. Holy snikey, something big just went in the water. Some big old frog there. Alright, so, yeah. Don't believe I'm going to be going swimming. Probably turtle. Going with the turtle. Could be an alligator. I'm not making that up either. Alright, so there you go. I'm just going to say that I'm glad I'm doing this evening. It's good conditions. I don't know, the flying insects might have been better in the middle of the day with the sun beating down on you. But if you had the sun and the flying insects, misery would be pretty high. Yeah, this is definitely, in my opinion, something good to finish off on a day like this where it's a pretty light day anyways. This would be a slog at the end of a long day. It would also be very challenging, or just a rough way to start off your day too, which is what my original plan was to start tomorrow with this hike. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea. Pretty much, pretty consistent aerial assault. I've had places where it lightens up, and then places where I've got like 5 or 6 coming at me at the same time of those biting flies. And just to clarify my comment earlier about camping, you know, in the heat, I'm talking about camping, like trailer camping, RV camping without air conditioning in the summer. It's not highly recommended without air conditioning. And in the national park campgrounds, usually they have generator hours. And you can't run them overnight. So, I mean, if it cooled off, it's fine. Some nights it does here at the beach. Tonight would probably be comfortable. But not every night. Alright, so I've had pretty good signage on here. Mounts to Sea Trail has been pretty well marked. I was probably just distracted as I was going through the Frisco campground. It was probably marked where I was supposed to go there as well, maybe. And I got about a mile to go on this trail. It has straightened up a good bit, widened out some. Looks like there might have even been some gravel enhancement or crushed rock or something at points along the trail there. So I'm getting up to a little bit better of a hiking speed, and that seems to be helping with the bugs some. It's like maybe loblolly pine in here. Anthills, not fire ants though. So yeah, just gonna keep cruising and try and get out of here. I hate to be like that, but I don't know. Then those biting flies will make you want to leave a place. Alright, so that was the Open Ponds Trail. I can think of some other names for it, maybe have something to do with biting flies. MST marker there telling me which way to turn. The British Sailor Cemetery was pretty neat as well. I suppose I go this way. I see the blaze. Alright, so I'm going to try and get down here. There's the old Lighthouse beach access. That's where I'm trying to meet up with Jennifer this evening. And we're going to still get a little bit of bug assault as I'm going along, but I don't know, I probably said this before, but even when you put on bug spray, it'll keep the biting flies, I guess, from biting you as much, but it won't like keep them from coming up and trying to land on you or hitting you essentially. So yeah, they're still pretty fierce. Maybe mosquito netting over my head. That would have been helpful. I almost bought a mosquito net in Walmart a couple of weeks ago, and I almost bought one. That would have been really cool. People would look at me even funnier than they did today. I think they thought I was like some kind of safety official or something because I'm wearing the bright shirt and the aquarium's hat. Staring me down pretty good today. I'll wear something more normal looking tomorrow. Alright, this area that I've been walking beside through, I believe it's the Buxton Woods, and makes the lighthouse awfully hard to see. I'm, pointing the camera that way. I don't know if you can see it or not. Makes the lighthouse awfully hard to see from NC-12. By no means do I think they should cut the woods down or anything, but I can see why it would be easy for people to bypass the Hatteras Lighthouse. But it's also very much the case that the fact that they moved it and created such a spectacle back, oh gosh, so it was almost 30 years ago now, really kind of brought a lot of interest both to this area and to the lighthouse. And so it's probably the most visited in North Carolina now, for sure. Might be the most visited lighthouse in the U.S. I don't know. Nonetheless, it's a little bit premature, I think, but I'm hanging a right up here in a little bit. Oh yeah, Buxton Woods. Imagine that trail is similar in characteristic to the one that I just did. And there is some informational stuff there that I could read. I see the little signage there. I'm going to pass on that this time, maybe some other time. Alright, hang a right here. Hasn't been a darn bit of traffic until I got ready to cross the road. I shouldn't say not a bit, but I think I had as many cars there when I got ready to cross as previous period. Lights shining out already. Pretty cool. Alright, I'm coming up on the old Lighthouse beach access. I believe this may actually be the path that they used to move it here. I should have studied on the signage more, but I would assume that this is the old Lighthouse beach access, that it was here and they moved it over there. Anyways, cool. And I see an MST blaze across the parking lot, and I see my ride coming in, which I guess I made good on the "I'll be there when you get there" thing. So 13 miles today by the GPS, a little over 12 by the trail guide, and that makes sense because I got off trail a time or two. So didn't feel like that far, but it did. So anyways, wrapping up the day. Say hi, Jennifer.